Why I hate bottom buttons, a personal rant on smartphone UI design. This week, Google made a big announcement that has many Android users buzzing. Chrome for Android is finally moving the address bar to the bottom of the screen. Yes, you heard that right. But before you jump for joy, let me share my perspective as someone who has a strong aversion to buttons at the bottom. You see, while many are celebrating this change, I'm just relieved that Google isn't forcing me to use something I absolutely can't stand. Here's the good news. If you're like me and prefer the address bar at the top, you can simply press and hold it and drag it back to its rightful place. How refreshing is that? Other popular browsers, like Microsoft Edge and Samsung Internet, already let users choose where they want their address bar, and I think that's a fantastic approach. After all, who doesn't love a little customization in their user interface? Now, let's talk about those pesky buttons at the bottom of the screen. I was over the moon when gesture-based navigation made its debut in Android 10, allowing us to finally ditch those annoying navigation buttons. But then, app developers decided to move all the buttons in their apps down to the bottom, and I was left scratching my head. Why, oh why? As Jerry Hildenbrand from AC pointed out during our recent discussion, any phone with a screen bigger than 4 inches needs buttons on the bottom. The idea is that bottom-aligned buttons are easier to reach, a notion that Steve Jobs and his team embraced when they launched the first iPhone. But here's the catch. This logic only holds up to a point. The original iPhone had a tiny screen, making it easy to reach everything with your thumb, including the back button at the top left corner. Fast forward to today, and no phone can claim that anymore. Take my OnePlus 13, for example. If I try to open my phone app with one hand, it's nearly impossible. The screen is just too wide for my thumb to reach the phone icon, which is located at the bottom left corner. I find myself doing some serious finger gymnastics just to tap that icon, and often I have to grab my phone with my other hand to stabilize it. Talk about frustrating. Once I finally get the phone app open, I'm greeted with the Recents tab in the middle. If I want to access my favorites, guess what? I have to stabilize my phone again and click it. This completely defeats the purpose of having those buttons at the bottom in the first place. Looking back to the days of Android 4.0, I can't help but reminisce about how much better the tabs at the top design was. Why? Because you could swipe between them. If developers would bring back that feature, many of my complaints about bottom-aligned navigation buttons would vanish. Just check out the 456 timestamp in this Galaxy Nexus UI tour video, and you'll see exactly what I mean. And it's not just me who wants to see some changes. People are clamoring for the return of physical buttons, and the best multitasking UIs are moving away from the iOS 10-inspired overview screen for something more efficient and, ironically, older. The trend is clear. We want functionality. Bottom-aligned buttons also hog valuable screen space. We can joke about it all we want, but Apple's decision to place the notch at the top of the iPhone's display was based on the fact that our natural vision tends to ignore static elements at the top of the screen, not the bottom. Most iPhone users will tell you they hardly notice the notch, but rotate the phone, and that big chunk missing from the display becomes glaringly obvious. We have plenty of screen real estate, so why should I have to look at static buttons all the time? It's a waste of space. I long for the day when I can choose to move those bottom-aligned buttons back to the top, where they truly belong. Chrome tabs are at the top, old-school paper folder tabs are at the top, and some apps, like Google Drive, even use a combination of swipeable top tabs with bottom-aligned buttons. At the end of the day, what I really want is the freedom to choose how my UI looks and functions. Many people love bottom-aligned tabs, buttons, and address bars, but I certainly don't, and I dislike being forced to use them. Thanks for tuning in to my little rant. I appreciate you listening, and I'll catch you all next week.